Welcome to Laser Focus, where I discuss all things laser cutting and engraving. In this video series, I'm working through making projects with each material in the sample kit that came with my xTool F1 laser cutting machine. If you want a detailed rundown of all the sample materials that came in the kit, I did a video unpacking it all, and I will link that below. Today, I'll be walking you through making cute fuzzy animal portraits using this laser engraving photo paper from the sample kit. This paper has really great contrast when you engrave it with the IR laser, so you can get some pretty striking results. You can also download the free files if you want to recreate this exact piece of wall art. And here are the materials that you will need if you did want to follow along and recreate the project. And if you watch till the end, you can get a sneak peek of my next project tutorial for making Christmas ornaments with the stick-on PU leather patches from the same sample kit. Okay, let's get started. The first thing we need to do is prepare the files for engraving, and I'm going to do this in xTool Creative Space. So I've got it open here, and I'm just going to select New Project. And before I bring my files in, I just want to set things up so that I know how to place and resize them properly. The laser engraving photo paper that came in the sample pack is 5.2 by 5.2 inches, so I'm going to create a square of that size so that we know where we're placing things. And I'll just center it on the grid and zoom out a bit so that we can see everything. Since the paper is larger than the working area of the laser, it's important to size the engraving within that limit. So I'm placing another square inside this larger one that represents the working area of the laser, which is 4 by 4 inches. Now I'm centering the square as well, and now I'm going to set both of the squares to not output and then copy them and lock them to the canvas. Since I'm engraving 4 different photos, I'm going to set up 4 canvases just like this, each with the 2 squares to help with alignment. So I'm just pasting them on each of the other canvases here. Okay, now I'm going to bring in my 4 animal photos. They are AI generated, and you can see the download link in the description. So I'm just dragging my 4 images onto the first canvas from the folder I saved them in here, and it's asking me if I want to scale the images or use the original size, and I'm just selecting the scale option so that they're easier to work with. And now I'm just moving the images so that there is one on each canvas. Now, if you want to make your own using different animals or anything else, there's a link in the description to my super quick tutorial on how to do that for free. The next thing we want to do is resize the photos so that they fit within the 4-inch by 4-inch working area of the laser. I'm resizing them all to a height of 3.97 inches, and then I'm centering them within the working area square, which is the inner square. Now, the last thing I want to do to the images is invert the colors, since we're engraving on a dark background. If we didn't do this step, the engravings would not look good on the photo paper, since all the black parts would blend into the background of the paper. We're now ready to engrave the photos. I'll show you how to set this first engraving up, and then we can just repeat the setup for each of the other 3. So for the alpaca, I'm selecting the laser engraving photo paper from the built-in materials library in XCS. It's this one right here. You can also search for it and then just select confirm. Now, it's really important to select the IR laser here. I've tested this using the blue light laser, and it does not look as good. It's a lot more faded with a layer of char over it that smears when you touch it. The default settings that it gives us here are the ones I'm using. I've tested a few different settings, and these are actually the ones that seem to perform the best. So we've got the dot duration at 250, power at 50%, and DPI at 400. We're also doing just one pass and using Jarvis as the bitmap mode and bidirectional engraving. Next, we want to frame the engrave so that we can center it on the sheet of photo paper. And it's really hard to see here with the lighting, but I've adjusted the paper to center the frame, so we are all good to go. Lastly, I always wear my safety glasses just for some extra protection. So back in xTool Creative Space, we can click Process, and we can see that the alpaca will take about 4 to 5 minutes. So this is pretty quick. And I'm just going to go ahead and click Start up here in the corner. And now we just have to click Start on the machine, and off it goes. Now I'm just going to show you all 4 of them here, since it's the same process for engraving them all. They did vary a little bit in how long the engraves took, but they were all under 6 minutes. And let's just speed this up, and there we go. They all engraved pretty nicely. Now this next step is optional, and to be honest, I would probably skip it the next time around because it ended up being more trouble than I think it was worth. I sprayed a finish on the photo paper to protect the photos, and this is the finish I used. I'm doing this outside because this stuff stinks and I don't have good ventilation inside. I'm just holding it about 8 to 10 inches above the photos and giving them all a quick light spray. And now because it's outside, I'm putting on this cover from the dollar store just to keep out any debris or dust while it dries. I let it dry overnight just to be safe, so about 8 hours. And you can see here that the paper got a bit warped arced and curled, which is why I would skip this step next time. It's an easy fix though. I just put some weight on them and left them overnight, and that worked well enough. You can see that they're not completely flat after flattening, but they're flat enough that when I mount them, they're gonna look just fine. We're almost ready to mount these, but the next step is to make sure I know exactly where to place the photos. I wanted to mount the photos on something with a bit of pop, and this is a 12-inch by 12-inch sheet of cardstock paper that I actually got from Dollar Tree, but you can use any pattern or design you want. I'm going to be placing the photos in a grid like this, so I want to mark the outer corners so that I know where to line them up. To make sure everything is aligned and centered, I measured 13 millimeters from the top and side of the sheet to mark the points on the paper where the outer top corners of each sheet needed to align. I feel like there must be an easier way to do this, but I couldn't think of one, so if you do, please leave it in the comments below. I use these sticky post-it strips so that they'd be easy to place and remove without damaging the cardstock. And now I've created these 4 corners where I know to align the outer corners of the photo paper. This way, all of the spacing along the edges and between the sheets will be equal, and I'll know exactly where to place everything once the adhesive is on the photo paper. And then for the first photo I'm placing, I put a couple of stickies down on the bottom corner so that I could make sure to align things properly. And now it's time to mount the photos onto the cardstock. I happen to have this transfer tape, which is basically a really thin double-sided tape, so I decided to use that. But you could use any glue that works on paper. You're really just gluing 2 sheets of paper together, so there are a lot of options. I just cut 5 squares of the tape and stuck them on the backs of each of the photo papers. And then just to make sure I had full coverage, I used a brayer to apply some pressure to ensure full contact. And then I peeled off the backing sheet from each square, and I carefully placed the photo down using my stickies to guide my placement. And then I used a brayer to make sure there was full and even contact. It helps to use something to cover the photo paper when you're doing this so that you don't damage the paper. For the skunk, I once again placed it down and moved the inner stickies so that they could help me with alignment again. And then I repeated the same process. For the skunk, I actually engraved both sides of this photo paper because the first one was a test. So that's why you're seeing me put the tape on the skunk side, because it's on both sides. And now I'm basically repeating this process again for the remaining 2 photos. So I'm just going to speed through this. And you can see that I also did some testing on the back of one of the other photos. If you want to test settings without wasting a sheet of your sample photo paper, I recommend doing it this way. And finally, I'm just removing the stickies from the cardstock and we're all done. Here's the finished piece. I think that the contrast of the photos on the photo paper looks awesome. Definitely a cool material that you could do a lot of fun things with, especially if you use a personal photo that you love or something cool that you generate using AI. Lots of options. In my next video, I'll show you how to use the PU leather patches from the same sample kit to create these cute Christmas ornaments. Join me there for the tutorial and free files.